Hi everyone, today we're playing a new digital card game which is still in alpha called Chrono. A game which is heavily influenced by Legends of Frontera with some sprinkles of Magic the Gathering. A game which is trying to, pick up everything good from previous digital card games which we've had in the past. We're gonna directly jump into a few games, but before we do that, I do want to talk a little bit about the base rules of the game. So we're gonna do that by playing a quick match against a bot. The Chronobot is not perfected yet, he just does random stuff all the time, but it's gonna be good for me to show you what's the base premise of the game, and then we're gonna go up in some matches against people. Anybody who has played a digital card game before would know the premise. These are the cards in your hand. You have a mulligan. For the sake of it, we're gonna keep this and this. One of the specific features of the game are the cards which are here, which are called divers. They are basically two cards which are always starting in your deck. They are always available to you, but you can only add one copy of them into your deck. Also, there are 6 syndicates in the game. You can add up to 2 of them in the game. Syndicates are basically like regions, like colors, and for every single one of them which is in your deck, you should have one diver responding to it, corresponding to it. Turn 1 you have 1 mana, turn 2 you have 2 mana, and every single turn after that you gain +1 mana. Another thing which is specific to Chrono is the fact that we have spell mana. Again, to everybody who has played LOR, that would be familiar. Basically, every unused mana which you have at the end of your turn is gonna go up, down, and can be used only for playing spells. You can have up to 3, and for turn 1 we're gonna play this guy. Now obviously every card has different effects, they are different things. Now the good thing here which is happening is that the bot actually did play a card which is gonna show you the second main thing about the game, which is the timelines. The timelines are basically what's in the middle here. There are, don't quote me on that, but I think 9 or 10 timelines, or 12. There are more timelines than syndicates in the game. So every card which shifts the timeline is going to tell you shift to Volcanic Rivers. Volcanic Rivers, when you shift to that timeline, is going to deal 1 damage to both of the cores. Another thing which is in the game is the presence of activate and deplete effects. Basically, if you activate an effect of a card, you just press it. It can't attack anymore, it can't block anymore for the turn, but it's going to deal a certain effect. Now in this case, we lose 1 HP, our opponent loses 1 HP. Everybody starts with 20 HP. Another, kind of unique thing is that you can actually heal over your starting HP, you can heal over 20. Our opponent attacks, and when your opponent attacks, you have a chance to declare your blockers, so we're just gonna do this. And that's going to be the combat. The red HP is the attack, the blue HP is the health of the unit, and there are different actions which you can take. Spells, I still call them spells. They have different speed, which means that you can play them in different parts of the combat. Fast speed you can play whenever. Slow speed you can do only when there is not an attack happening. It needs to be the first spell which you play on a chain. I explained it in the most convoluted way possible. Anyways, you're gonna see what I mean. See, our opponent uses a fast speed spell, which says deal 2 to an ally, to deal 2 to another agent, and he's gonna shift the timeline again. We have a counter spell which we can use, which just deals 2 damage to an enemy, so we can do this as a response, and this will save our bloodline tracker and kill his unit. The effect of shifting to the timeline still happens though, because of the wording. Okay, now we pass. And now we can declare, an attacker. 3 damage. Or not. Pretty self-explanatory card. We can now use our activate effect. Anyways, our unit is dying, so we can do this. At least push a little bit of damage. Okay. Now I'll show you the spell mana. We're gonna pass here. Okay, our opponent deals damage, we pass. And now all of our unused mana is gonna go down here, and it's gonna be a spell mana, which basically means this turn we have 4 mana which we can use to play units, and we have extra 3 mana which we can use to do, for example, this, and just kill his unit again. Okay, I think that's a good enough way for you to get the idea of the game. There are many more timelines doing, different effects, different stuff. The different syndicates are good in different things. So we're just gonna straight go ahead and play against a person. Okay, here we go. We play against... so this will probably be a slower deck by him. And right now I went for a very aggressive deck. So we're gonna try to end the game around turn 6, turn 7, or it's gonna become really bad for us. So our whole idea of the deck is, deal a lot of damage quickly. Him, I'm not so sure, but we're not gonna keep the 6 mana card. That's a finisher for later in the game. We can keep Rebuild so we can kill his 1 held units, but I would like to be a bit more aggressive than this. So I'm gonna do something like this. We're gonna keep the 1-drop. This will allow me to play a bunch of 1-drops quickly. Again, you can always see the divers from the opponent here. This is what I spoke about earlier. Deplete basically means that he can activate this effect once per turn whenever he wants. At the only cost of this unit cannot go into battle after he uses this effect. So he's gonna get reserved energy, is basically mana energy. Spell energy. Let's do this. This is gonna allow us to start pushing damage. Okay, he gets his spell mana, and we start doing damage. The game is obviously not polished yet. It's in alpha. There are still some bugs. The game, a little bit more animations would be good. A little bit more visual clarity here and there would be good. But it came a long way from 1 month ago when it was a bit worse. What do we do though? If he wants to play the dog, we can play the gladiator, who has more health and can attack freely. Let's start with the gladiator, I think. Yeah, let's do this. You can have up to... Oh, this is really good for us. This means that we can now attack freely with the gladiator. I think we're gonna attack with... he can get 1 more spell mana from the synthesizer. This guy... how do we do this? I'm gonna do this. This is gonna be the first timeline of the match. It's always gonna be showed somewhere on the board what is going to be the active timeline. And I'm gonna attack with everything, because we want to push as much damage as we can at the beginning. Oh wow, okay. I expected him to block the tracker, because he represents constant damage. He needs to kill this guy at some point. Okay, that's, I would say, a pretty good result for us. Something which I forgot to say earlier when we played against the bot is that every single unit has Immortalize. Immortalize is basically a condition which, when it's met, the card is gonna upgrade. For example, with the Glittering Gladiator, when he strikes an agent with less strength than him, he immediately levels up into Scoot Sparkles. Overpower is a keyword, which means that access attack damage goes to the enemy health. Basically, if he has like 5 attack and he attacks This guy with 1 health, 4 damage is gonna go to the enemy nexus. We're gonna use this effect so we can keep pushing more damage. In terms of keywords, they're gonna be written here in the left side of the card. Excess damage beyond the durability of this agent's blocker is dealt directly to the enemy core. Okay. Different cards have different immortalization, requirements. Some of them are win conditions, some of them are a bit easier and like a small power upgrade. What did my opponent do? Gain an empty energy crystal, sacrifice 3 health, gain 4 reserved energy. Sacrifice 3 basically means sacrifice 3 health. So he ramped, basically. We can do a few things here, but I would like to pass priority right now. So I'm going to use the deplete effect of my tracker. Not only do we keep dealing damage, but I also now allow my opponent to play a card. And if he passes, I might take the pass, so we can stock the energy, and next turn we can go for a bit more oomph. Okay, my tracker is kinda dead though. There's not too much which I can do about that though. That's fine. We're gonna play our second diver, the Swashbuckling Diehard, who has synergies with a bunch of the cards which we have, which are basically deal damage to an ally so you can do something. In most of the cases, just do more damage to the enemy. He prevents any non-combat damage which he takes the first time each turn. Okay, what do we do here though? I want to force a block. If I force him to block, and then he plays another ramp card, what do we do? I think I need to represent more damage. I think I'm gonna do Primordial. Then we're gonna wait to see what he does. Then we can use the Bat in Flames, so you can do a little bit more damage. Okay, this is the idea. This guy, if he sees you damaging the enemy core twice in a single turn, basically before he strikes, he's gonna immortalize. And if you don't meet his immortalization requirements, he's gonna die. Temporary, basically, when he strikes, he dies. Or at round end. To be honest, I'm not exactly sure what this guy does. IDK basically grant the agent -1/-1. If you or an ally would deal non-combat damage, deal 1 more. Pretty self-explanatory. And the immortalization is kind of like a win condition. Okay. Great to know, but what do we do? I think we just attack. Just attacking is usually a great plan. Well, that ain't great. That ain't great at all. Yeah, this isn't too good right now. What we're going to do... This card basically kills a unit in this scenario. Deals 1 damage, plus 1 damage for each ally it has. So what do we do? We're just going to do this. And try to kill all his blockers. Okay. Shift the timeline again. Basically deal more damage to him. And the good thing about all of that is that we force him to go under the mana which he needs to ramp more. Next turn really feels like it's going to be just frontline Juggernaut and just hope he's going to connect. When he immortalizes, 10 attack, overpower. If he doesn't have a stun, that's going to be annoying for him. Jury of the Second Law, Blitz basically means he attacks before the blocker. When you play an action, gain 1 reserved energy, so expect a lot of craziness to happen next turn. I don't want to waste all my mana right now, so I'm actually going to play Sunshock at the enemy's core. Because as I said, we're the aggressive deck. We need next turn to be the last in the match. Or we need to put him in, burn range. There is no way that I'm blocking that. I want my Die Hard to stay on the board. Yeah, as we speak, play the Juggernaut, he immortalizes immediately. I don't know if when we get to beta or, full release, there's gonna be like a small animation when stuff immortalizes. I'm not too sure about that. But yeah, right now he's in a predicament of he needs to kill this guy. Stun him or kill him or he's in deep trouble. I'm not sure. If you have one or less agent, it costs 2 less, draw 2. Okay, so he's basically drawing like a madman. Yeah, this doesn't kill him though. Now we attack. This basically deals 2 damage to an agent. This guy's effect when I take non-combat damage, like his spell. First prevented and I face. Face basically means that he's out of the board till the end of the turn. Oh, this is rude. Actually, how rude is this? I'm gonna do this. This allows me to try and save my Juggernaut. What he did, I'm gonna actually show the card on the screen. A pretty staple card in the game right now. Give an ally plus 3 health and an enemy minus 3 attack. Okay, that worked. We kill his jury. Oh, I didn't think about that. This is not good. This card revives the strongest ally that was destroyed this round. Okay, this is bad. We're in a little bit of trouble. The good thing... What is the good thing? I want this thing dead. I need to kill this guy. Yeah, I will do this. He has Blitz. I know it sucks, but... Oh! I should have probably... Yeah, that was my bad. I should have kept the Juggernaut for next turn and lose the Die Hard, but... Anyways, we're gonna focus on the game now. Let's do... this. Deal 3 damage to the enemy core, break down 10. If my core has less or equal to 10, we're gonna get a stronger effect. We put him to 3. Basically, the question right now is, can he burn us? That's like the big question here. We are in trouble. What do we do now? We're gonna do this to begin. Yeah, that was my bad. If I had the Juggernaut, I would just open attack with him, and that would force him to play some of the Sunshocks. Where is this Sunshock going? Where are all of these Sunshocks going? This could just put them all on the stack. This guy creates transient copies of Sunshock at round start. Transient basically means that it's gonna be removed from your hand at the end of the turn. Okay, so he goes for the face, and now we use our own Sunshock to try to win. This is why we play the Blazing Shifter before. Yay, we win. Great! We're gonna come back with a different deck. Okay, now we're going for a little bit slower deck here, where we are gonna try to play units on the board, make them stay on the board, and we're playing against probably the same idea. Here the main mechanic of our deck is the activate/deplete effect, which is basically you're not gonna go into combat, but you're going to do something extra. I don't want this. I don't want... I mean... do we want to keep not so fast? I don't think so. I want to find Bloom. Do we want to keep Pressure Spike? Is there... Yeah, I think I'm going to actually keep Pressure Spike as a way to try to kill, you know, a key unit from him. This is not a great hand. To be honest, this is not the hand I wanted. Again, the synthesizer, we're going to answer with our Ectender. The next ally that enters play this round flourishes, basically gets +1/+1. This is the activate effect, which we're going to start using from the next turn. I will present him the option of passing here, though. Okay, he actually takes it, which means that this guy girl is the centerpiece of our deck. When she immortalizes, she starts basically killing something every time you activate or deplete an ally. Creating hand a random action that started in your deck. Immortalize, I see Voices Sky. This is a timeline. Okay, we're going to do this. I'll start trying to kill his stuff, cause... Okay, nice. So, what do we do now? I desperately want to find a protection spell for the rocker. But before we do any of that, I think we're going to open attack. Can he kill her? There is the Hush spell. Yeah, I'm going to attack here. Let's begin with the attack. If he has a 6 mana kill a unit, that's the Hush spell. It's called Hush now. The only out which I have after that is playing the Librarian Assistant, which is going to fetch a spell. One of the spells in my deck is a 3 mana spell which revives the strongest ally which died this turn. The chances for drawing exactly the spell would be like 30-40%, something like this. And I also would say that we queued up into not the greatest matchup because this guy, the Redactionist, revive an agent, so he can revive agents from my graveyard. Granted temporary, which basically means that it's going to be erased. It's going to be completely gone from the board when, you know, it would die. And this means that my whole idea of trying to revive this girl over and over and over again would be completely destroyed by this guy. So I will need to be a bit more creative here. And this is going to start by doing this. This is exactly the spell which I was talking about. Do I care about this guy? I can... Nah. I can't. I was about to say that I can try to kill him, but I can't. Because if I use the Rocker's effect, he's going to use the Synthesizer effect, which is going to trigger his Overflow. Overflow happens when you have 3 spell mana and you would get more than that over the 3 spell mana. A core mechanic for this particular syndicate. Ooh. When an agent is destroyed this round, agents... Oh my god, this is so rude. This is going to clean up the whole board. My god, okay. And I shouldn't have done that. Man, that was so dumb, because now I allow him to deplete. That was my bad. That was completely my fault. I shouldn't have given him priority. Anyways, we're going to do this. At least she immortalized, but I don't think it's worth it. Because I don't think she's going to stay on the board for God knows how long. But she comes back. Okay. Okay, there's the Bloom. This is good. Very, very good. What's worst case scenario? Him just killing her outright would be worst case scenario. So if he runs this card, Brandon Sickness, this means that he's going for like a super control-y type deck, which I'm not sure how am I supposed to deal with. One way would be to try to just play the pot, Sensory Deprivation pot. Basically a ticking time bomb, if I can protect it. And I think this is a matchup where this could happen, potentially. Ooh. Does he go for it, though? What are you going to revive? Can kill this guy. Do I kill him immediately? I think I will just shoot him immediately. Kill him. Okay, so he did that just so he can draw one more card. I honestly don't care. And do I play the pod? If I play the pod, I tap below Bloom. And if I tap below Bloom, this is going to allow him to play his own copy of Pressure Spike, which would kill my... I am not sure what I want to do, which is not a great feeling, but I will be a bit more aggressive and play the pod. Oh, I take this. Oh, do I take it? Yeah, I take it. I take it. I take it. I take it. This guy's gonna die at the start of the next round, which does give me a pretty nice looking open attack, which I think I'm gonna try to use. Okay. I start to hate this card. There's not much I can do. I have to just do this and then answer with this again. What was this fella doing? IDK, raise a card in a graveyard to gain an extra energy crystal. This woo 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 you've spent. Yeah, this is not happening, brother. Kill him. What's gonna happen if this guy immortalizes? Activate, I flourish, erase a card in a graveyard to gain an extra energy crystal this round. Basically, he's just gonna be annoying. This is fine. I don't care. I do care about protecting Yika though. I don't care. This guy's gonna phase back in next turn. So okay, we're in I think good spot here. He's gonna heal. This is the really annoying part, but I think I'm down to play this guy too, just so we can get the spell. We might need to stun something in the next round, you never know. Okay, end round, you phase in, this instantly kills him. Okay. Oh, not again. Let's do this. This girl basically shuts down an agent. Mute means that it removes all buffs, it removes all the text, it sets it up to its base stats, which in that case is 2-7. There is nothing I can do about that though. We can push a little bit of damage and bye bye Ika, it was nice to know ya. You tried your best, but it wasn't meant to be. Do we open attack here? Ooh, Hush Now can be good though. Let's attack with you, and I'm not going to attack with the pod. The entire idea of this attack is that if one of my agents die, this guy's gonna immortalize. And as I said, he's a ticking time bomb. Once he immortalizes, as he's about to do, he becomes actually threatening. And we do have a second copy of him in hand. This is fine. Pass. Do we pass? Or we can play the second Somnius. Let's priority pass here. We're just gonna play another one of these guys. Somber Astronomer. What's your immortalized name? Aiken Starry Diviner. Aha, I see. An enemy decays twice or an ally decays twice to draw 2 cards. Do I hush it? This is $1 million question. Now, do we hush it or not? I think the answer is going to be, will this go through? Damn it. He has only 4 cards left in hand. I think I'm gonna... Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to out-control him. Nah, 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 nah. This can't be correct. Play the Somewhere again. Somnius, not Somewhere. Now he can phase out freely. And we're also gonna combo this with discard the Pressure Spike. Because I don't want the Doggo to immortalize, because when he immortalizes, he gets Last Gasp, which is basically when he dies, he's gonna do something. And in this case, he's just gonna draw an extra spell. And I don't really want to deal with this right now. Okay, he goes to 7, and now he's the one who should do stuff. What can we revive? Is there anything which we can revive which is gonna do something crazy? We can revive Somnus. No. Absolutely, brother, not happening. Die immediately. Disappear from my face. This is so unbelievably rude. What we can do though, and now I'm gonna do this for the science because I'm not sure what's going to be the interaction actually. But we're gonna play the Redactionist, who is gonna bring back a Somnus. And we're gonna win. Well, I think this is gonna be for today. I think this should have given you like a basic understanding of how the game works. There are so many more things happening. There are, as I said, 6 different syndicates. All of them are doing different things. All of them, have their different quirks and stuff which you need to learn. As I said, the game is always improving. I really loved one of the quotes from the devs, which said that their goal is that the game is going to be in a better state every time you log into it. I really like this philosophy. Yeah, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me down below. And I think that's going to be it for this video. And I guess bye.